So May 15th, we were talking a lot about the Wizard of Oz and the red shoes, ruby slippers. So think about, when you're thinking about May 15th birthday, think about Isis the goddess being representative. So Alice in Wonderland has the same blue and white representation as Wendy's, as the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. Remember, we talked about the red door of Nephthys being your twin sister, which is the goddess Nephthys, a Pisces. And then him holding the clock, time is running out. So if you look up here, it's like MON, which means mom. Mom, which means like Mother Isis, Mary Isis. Mother Mary is like Mary Isis. In the Vatican, the Pope worships the Black Madonna. Black Madonna goes with like the whole, the Black Mary. They worship this Black woman. I always put it to like Adam had not just Eve as a wife, but he had Lilith as a wife. So Adam, red hair. You have Lilith, red hair, like a lily flower, has red hair and white skin. So think of Wendy. Then think Eve. Eve is dark for evening. So think about his Eve being a Black woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. So then the red hair woman, which is Lilith, she has O negative blood type maybe. O negative blood type needs a Rogram shot to have a positive Reese's child. So anybody who's a negative blood type needs a shot. Because after the first child, especially even during the first child, your body creates proteins to not let the foreign entity call that baby in your belly because of the blood type. So the Rogram shots helps you fight those proteins or whatever it does. So in the beginning, or whenever Adam met Eve, he was like, all right, listen, you Black, you got positive blood type. Could you go ahead and carry the rest of these children on Earth? So that's basically, I feel like, how Black people got red hair from the Eve, the gene from not Eve, but from Lilith and Adam. So Adam gave Eve the rib, right? What is a rib? It's a rib. But R1b, RIB, is actually a genetic code for red hair, or like the red. So he gave Eve the red gene for red hair. Like there's an island of blonde hair, dark-skinned Black people, but there's not an island of Black people with red hair. Yes, Black people have red hair. Malcolm X had red hair, but it came from his Scottish-Irish grandparent. So like I have light brown hair, so that comes from my Irish ancestry as well. My daughter is Scottish-Irish. Her hair is lighter brown than mine. So I feel like when Black people mix with red hair, Scottish-Irish people, we have this lighter brown hair and not dark hair. So like you don't see a lot of Asian people with red hair or Native Americans with red hair, because it was the Black people from Eve gene that messed with Adam to create the red hair. Anyways, so just remember that when I talk about red hair. So when we talk about red hair and the gene of like the Reese's of negative, so supposedly the royal family has a lot of O negative or negative blood type, which is supposedly the alien gene. So May 15 being Taurus Isis, you have Queen Elizabeth, who has like the same energy of Osiris and Isis as her god and goddesses for Taurus and for Aries in her energy. So think Serpent in the Rainbow, think voodoo, think energy, chakras, and the Wizard of Oz, okay? So the Wizard of Oz is part of the green reptilian Miss Queen Elizabeth with that green energy. So Robert Maxwell would be like the Scarecrow, okay? If you haven't ever heard of Robert Maxwell, he is the father of Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell hung out with, Gilligan Island Jeffrey, if you know what I'm saying. There's an island with Jeffrey on it, and I don't want this to be tagged as a video, but look up Ghislaine Maxwell and basically the Scarecrow, the Scarecrow. So when Michael Jackson says, I'm looking at the man in the mirror, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad worked for the Mirror. He owned the Daily Mirror, so he had all the dirt, all the celebrities. So when Michael Jackson says, I'm looking at the man in the mirror, I don't think he's talking about himself. He's talking about the whole family over there and this Epstein character and Maxwell. So, like, they be having dirt on him. Like they have dirt on everybody. Remember, he played in The Wizard of Oz as well as a Scarecrow. And I talked about Reese's factor for blood type. On his nose, it looks like a Reese's Pieces, right? The wrapper, the brown wrapper. So a lot of symbology in these movies, if you could see. And then you see his nose right there, very dark. So just Wizard of Oz, Ghislaine Maxwell, all that. There is a whole lot of communication in astral that was used with Sophia robot, which allegedly Epstein created a computer program or helped fund the creation of a computer program because he worked with neurology for the Sophia robot. So Sophia robot was by Hanson Robotics, who supposedly got funding from a lot of things he was raising from, like, he went to different colleges to create this program to power the Sophia program. But it's they love redheads. So Prince Andrew and Epstein love redheads. So they would always get into redhead injuries. Redheads have a lot of psychic energy. That's why the Daily Mirror has red behind it. So this redhead, like when Jesus part of the Red Sea, was probably the people who are red could see in astral very well. So Jesus, Joshua, whatever, needed to part the Red Sea. So when I talk about like Kansas City and Mahomes and St. Sophia and Pitts Sophia in the previous video, it's to say that they're all part of the same story. When that computer program was accessed, it accessed a redhead who was connected to the computer, who then connects to all the psychics out there that are connected to Lilith, Eve, and Adam from this redhead gene. A lot of times you see extraterrestrial or the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid has red hair and blue eyes. Blue eyes came from Eve because she had blue eyes, and red hair came from Lilith. So when those two DNA families come together, it creates a hybrid of Eve and Lilith. So it's like, when your first cousin, you usually don't have kids. So when you see a redhead and a blue-eyed person come together, that means that somebody on both sides of Eve and Lilith got back together to create a child, which creates a very strong bond of earth psychics as black people and redhead psychics as like extraterrestrial. If you think about Mystique in X-Men, she has red hair and blue skin. So it's kind of denoting like, these are extraterrestrials. So it's like the Little Mermaid is part of the like water land as well as the extraterrestrial land outside of the world. So when you think about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, think about Dorothy Dandridge and all that she went through in her career. And Halle Bailey played in it. Halle Berry played in it, which reminds me of Halle Bailey and the Bailey beads, which I talked about the Bailey beads previously because it was an event that happened. When the eclipse happened, a guy realized that there was some really beautiful lighting, like diamonds around the sun when the moon passed across it. So her passing away September 8th, which is Queen Elizabeth's the first death day, which means that Queen Elizabeth would always be able to see into her astral, which means she probably was bothering her. So when you're walking down that yellow brick road of yellow brick gold, there's a lot of money involved with music and entertainment and movies. So a lot of these movies are what's happening in astral. Emerald City of Oz. Emerald being the birthstone of May, which I'm doing this birthday decode for May 15th. So Emerald, May. Oz meaning Osiris, which is Aries. Aries, Osiris, and Isis May are married, and they have a child named Horus, which is December baby or Jesus or a Sagittarius, Capricorn, Ophiuchus energy. And I already mentioned Selena Quintanilla, but Taylor Swift had, her songs played at the concert. Sabrina Carpenter sang it. Sabrina Carpenter is one of Taylor Swift's friends, and I already told you about the silver shoes that Selena wears on her last film concert. So a lot of this has to do with the parade that happened, and it's a connection to Camilla Parker Boyles, King Charles, and them kind of stalking Selena. Selena wearing that big purple outfit reminded me of the Rex, which is the name that they call the Queen or King of England. Queen Elizabeth has her name Rex at the end, which means like king. So when she's wearing this purple outfit, it reminds me of Barney. Who played in Barney? Selena, the younger Selena, played in Barney, whose birthday is 722, which is the feast day of Mary Magdalene. 722. Mary Magdalene was a redhead. So again, this redhead energy. And who Selena Gomez best friend with? Taylor Swift. So a lot of these astral people who wrote movies and TV shows and scripts and books, they tap into real life, which is happening now because we're at the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of Aquarius. It's the beginning of a new age. So a lot of these books and stories are being closed out by replacing it with the real people that have been astrally stalked or astrally followed by people who want to create books, or maybe religious people, or people who want to look into the astral realm.